Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching RuPaul's Drag Race, Season 14, Episode 9.
Menzeses.
Menzeses. You were, or was it Rachel that was taken out by that?
No, they just kept saying it, and I was like, it sounds like you're saying menses, though.
That's what I read when I read it. Yeah. But then I was like, oh, it's like slang, like menzeses.
So it was like a mix between that and then the actor Tobias Menzies. And I was like, it's a lot.
I actually don't have a ton to say about this one. Most of my feelings are still the same, still in play.
The same.
I think my biggest takeaway from this is that when this season started, the Meet the Queens, and then the first episode, Bosco was my kind of queen. That's who I was rooting for. And I think as of this episode, she is firmly back in number one place for me.
Okay.
Because I look at it, there are different ways to look at it. Because first of all, as we've said a few times, and I maintain, I actually like all of them. I think that they're all good people. I think they're all nice. And I think they're all good queens. I think some are better than others.
Yeah.
But I frequently have who's my favorite, who I think's going to win, and who I want's going to win.
Okay. And
sometimes those categories overlap, but not always.
Yeah.
Because it was like last season, it was like Joey J was so cute. He was my favorite, but he wasn't.
There's no universe.
They did one of those silly challenges. The mini challenge was they had to photobomb celebrities. What?
It was funny. I also love when they have to put on like fast drag.
Yeah, I think it's been a little bit more subtle in previous seasons. Yeah. And I don't not miss that. I kind of, because I mean, everything was at an 11.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's kind of the point, but also I wouldn't hate if they actually, like, if someone was trying to like pose with the person.
Sure.
It was everyone had their thumb up their ass.
It was wall to wall open hole. Like
fists full of lotion.
Fists full of lotion.
I was like, handful of lotion. The usage of the word fist takes us to a different place.
A way different place, yeah.
Ru continues her streak. This might be my favorite Ru we've ever. It's a strong flavor of Ru.
It's a strong Ru. It's a real strong Ru. I do think it's funny. I guess I want to kind of say like a lot of Ru personality that we don't always get to see shine. That part's fun.
I think I mentioned this in like episode 2 or 3, but it gives me major Nana got into the liquor cabinet vibes.
Sure. Yeah. Like Nana got into the liquor cabinet and then started sundowning.
Willow won the mini challenge?
Yeah, because she got to pick her group.
Interesting strategy picking the group. She basically just picked people that she hadn't worked with before.
It worked? Okay.
Yeah, it did, because they were the better group.
Yeah.
Because usually it's
Willow. Okay, here is the thing about Willow.
You want to talk about playing 3D chess?
This bitch. I don't understand how you can be thinking that far ahead. Like, I believe that was a strategized, thought out decision.
So I actually feel the opposite.
Really?
I feel that she naturally does that.
Interesting.
It's like how someone is like an amazing artist and like, how do you do that? And they're like, it just comes.
Happens.
I think it's a subconscious thing. Like, I genuinely believe she was like, I'm going to pick the people that I haven't worked with. But I think somewhere deep down, something was pulling pulleys and levers.
I also feel like she is just kind of a chameleon, where she just sort of can adapt to whatever environment she finds herself in.
Well, yes. Okay. I was going more literal with the chameleon thing, because I was going to say...
She hasn't really stumbled yet. No, I mean a social chameleon. Yeah. She's not like she looks like Willow every week.
Well, because I was going to say, but she is doing different. It's not the same thing. And that's, I think, an accomplishment. She has a very unique look to her that would be hard to get lost.
But that's the thing. You say that she's doing something different every week, but it is not as disjointed as what you mentioned with Jasmine tonight. Where it's like, we've had all these looks from Jasmine, and despite her wearing the same wig 40-100 times,
it looks like 30-100.
She doesn't. There's no cohesive through line of like Jasmine's style of drag.
I don't know what it is.
Me. Yeah. Whereas Willow has a style, but she's able to merge that style into like a variety of things.
Well, when Jasmine stepped out onto the runway this week, I didn't know who it was.
Yeah.
I was like, because at first I thought it was Diabetti, but then I was like, she's too slight.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't know who this is.
Yeah.
So, and I think another thing with Jasmine, and we've talked about this a lot. Again, many of our takes are the same. So if it's repetitive, it's because that's how we still feel.
Everybody's being so consistently what they've been the entire time.
I think it's the part of her that's very young, where it's like, because a lot of Jasmine's drag ages her, and there's only been once or twice where that was appropriate.
Yeah.
And
that was which Ru mentioned.
Well, actually, I think it was Michelle. But
yeah.
I don't. So I don't have a ton to say about the actual challenges, the Maxi challenges this week. They had to do a DragCon panel, which that in and of itself, I mean, I've never been to DragCon. I grasp the concept of a panel, but it seemed more like the pink table talk they did in All Star 6.
Yeah, like I guess again, I've never been to a DragCon either, but like, do they get into such serious conversations at a DragCon panel? That seems
like I've watched the YouTube video of Trixie and Katya's, but that was just like a live episode of
Okay, yeah.
So they were both given
put a little more mustard on that.
Or to quote Katya in the first 4 seasons, No, they were both given the same topic, although same subject, although they had different sub-subjects.
So they were both teams were talking about men, but then
Menzeses.
They picked different sub.
All I can remember is fatherhood, relationships with dad,
turn-ons and turn-offs.
Yeah.
Toxic masculinity.
Sure.
Dating. Yeah, it's in the thing.
I think the first group was, by and large, stronger. Although, period.
Yeah.
Because I started to say, I don't know if that's just because they went first, and so it felt more like a retread, but no, it was. So both Deja and Bosco was the other moderator. Both of them were very good moderators.
Very good.
And also, I appreciated they were doing different things.
Yep.
Because Deja was very daytime and Bosco was more late night.
Yeah, agreed.
With her style. I think Willow was probably the strongest.
Oh, she's so good. It's like, I don't know, because it's hard. That's the part where I then take back every decision she makes is on purpose, because so many of her comments are off the cuff responses.
That's why I maintain I think it's innate. I think that the strategy is coming from a subconscious place inside. Yeah. I think it's more of an instinct or a gut than it is planned.
Sure, absolutely.
Angeria was very strong as well. Although Angeria, I feel like when she's allowed to just be herself, she soars.
Yeah.
Like, want to talk about not like innate, like not being strategic, like just coming from a place inside. Who was the fourth one with them?
Lady Camden.
Lady Camden faded a little bit.
She disappeared a little, but I think she got enough that it worked, and I think she was able to spin the Blake Shelton mistake, where like, we know that she made a mistake, but it did kind of come off like her tripping last week, where it felt like it was purposeful in the moment.
I would have pivoted into a Ryan Reynolds joke.
Sure.
And she just was like, oops. Which sometimes that's the best.
But I think she really saved it at the end when she was like, and if you're Blake Lively, don't call me. Like, that was like a way to then like put the button on it.
I just, they kind of were starting this like arc that she was fading in the background last week. And I was like, nah. And then this week I was like, So the second group went, we're kind of Diabetti apologists, sympathizers.
I wouldn't even sympathizers better. I just straight up like Diabetti.
I like what she's doing. We've talked about it a little bit because I said in a previous thing that I was like, she challenges me.
Yeah.
And I think it's because this is now our 4th season watching live and like our 10th season overall of Drag Race. So I'm at a place where the structure and all of that it sticks out to me more. And there's just something inconsistent about the edit because we are given a lot of sound effects and physical edits
and
making her seeming one way.
Yeah.
But the way the girls interact with her isn't like.
They all seem so friendly.
Well, there's once or twice where, because like Deja was kind of like, and step to me again and I'll smack you. So it's like, there's once or twice where they said things like that. Yeah. But in a general sense, the camaraderie, the sisterhood between the strippers is real. So, and so that's where I started to say, I was inclined to talk about how good she was in the second panel, but I think I just loved her look. I think the yellow.
Yeah, her
the
look
acid
was good,
yellow
but
and the mohawk.
I thought she said good things. And so while I also agree the first group was the strongest, I don't think the second group totally biffed it. I think it was mostly fine. But like Georgia stumbled over words a lot, and like Jasmine went down a fucking rabbit hole again.
She pulled out, was it Nicole Byer who commented? Somebody commented to Georges where they were like, the problem was you were intimidated.
Yeah.
They're like, messing up isn't a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Or, well, even Rue was like, I mess up all the time. It's you just got to roll with it.
That was always my hugest problem in orchestra, in like band, is like, they're like, if you mess up a note, just keep going. And I'm like, no, I can't.
I have to go back and do it right.
I have to go back and do it right, or it's bad.
And that's
or
sort
I did
of
it bad.
Yeah. I like Georges a lot. I think she's a bit more of a look queen, a glamour queen. She gets real anxious with some of these more performative, unless it was the telenovela, which again she soared. I wish she could find a way to. I mean, I don't want to tell her to do the same thing over and over and over again. But I wish she could bring that energy into.
But they did say kind of that in the critiques. They were like, you have to find a way to like bring the thing, like when you're comfortable, bring that energy with you into everything, because it's like that is the vibe where. It's also very like doing like acting and comedy, and especially like the superhero movies, which we've talked so much about in other episodes, where it's like, if you are scared of the weird lines, or you are like embarrassed by the weird lines, you're not going to pull it off. Like the whole reason that these actors like Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. is because they can say Loki stole the Tesseract with a fucking straight face. And like, you just have to lean all the way in.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, even with doing this, it's like the times where I deep down want and am trying to do a perfect job, I always end up biffing it. And the times where I'm like, let's just go talk about it, I feel so much better about the conversation, about like the performance and stuff.
Always.
So were there any more notes from the episode, like behind the scenes?
Nicole Byer went backstage during Untucked. It was nice.
She's so good at this.
She's so good.
She's really good at this. I'm a big Nicole Byer fan. I don't love when it comes to her actual stand-up, I prefer it more in chunks than like a heaping plate of it. But what she's good at and this are almost a perfect circle.
Yeah.
It's like not even a Venn diagram. There's just something about like her little add-ins, because I thought she was last season. I thought she was there for like 6 episodes.
I thought so too.
She claims it was only 2, and yes, I know Lonnie Love was on a lot as well.
Aware she's different, but it did feel like there was just like a like heavenly Nicole Byer presence over the whole season.
Did you see she had the Candy Muse hair?
Yeah,
because she loved it when Candy Muse did that backpack last year.
That was good. That I if I'm remembering correctly, that was one of the Candy Muses that I liked. The hair.
I think definitely the hair. I think that was before we had come around on her.
Yeah.
Because we were like, it's just backpacks. But I mean, I like it in hindsight.
Yeah.
We both warmed up to Candy a lot, so want to talk about edits. I kind of want to rewatch like the first
knowing what
11, 12, and 13. Yeah. I think one of the better RuPaul looks.
It was good. It was a better one for this season so far.
And
although
also,
wasn't it the gold one too? So gold and silver. Because she wore
Grecian gold?
Yeah.
Gold and blue, yes. Not the gold tinsel.
That one was not as
well, because someone who is prolific as RuPaul, who has quite the catalog, the presence, the catalog of looks, you do get to a place where she knows what works and she does it. And so there are a lot of times where it's like it's the same thing, just slightly different colors. And there was something about this look, though the silhouette was very standard RuPaul, although RuPaul does love a short skirt, but it just felt like something about it felt fresh. Something maybe it was because it was that sequin thing where they're like, I really liked it, and the hair,
the eye makeup. Her eye makeup always is so good.
Oh, and the jewelry. Oh yeah. The huge statement.
Oh yeah, the necklace. Yep.
And the corset. Yeah, this was a good one for me. I
also love how it almost looks like the color of Ariel's dress when she's coming out of the water at the end because of the purple lights reflecting off it.
Because everybody goes blue with that dress, and it's like there's shades of blue, but there's also platinum and periwinkle, and
I always thought it was like lavender, like a silvery, like a sterling rose.
So I think with that, we'll look at the runway.
Do it. This is good.
So this was a good category.
Mhm.
I was a little underwhelmed kind of across the board. I expected way more of this.
Yeah. No one, like, I expected one of these, and then I expected a football player, which Maddie Morphosis did one, or she would have if she was still here, so she posted a picture, but I'm glad that we got this one. But I agree with you. I was a little whelmed. This is great, though.
Yeah, I my only critique, and maybe it's unfair, maybe because Deja just has never been my favorite. I think it should have been tailored a bit better, which is a silly thing to say for something that's intentionally oversized.
But we talked specifically about, like, it needed to be a little more, the bottom needed to be a little more form-fitting, and even I think the jacket could have really pinched in at the waist.
Yeah.
Also, I've said it every week, but I don't like the makeup. It's
still too much.
It's like kabuki for this amount of her face, and I don't like it. Yeah, like, see, it kind of gapes in the back. I don't really. But the earrings and the jewelry are.
So, I hate this.
Oh.
I wanted to like it. I was performing liking it. I think it looks very cheap. Like, I think it looks crafty.
I think the head looks crafty.
Yeah, I think the whole thing. I mean, I think she did. I love Lady Camden.
I think it might have been actually more fun if she had painted the Nutcracker face and like put a hat on.
I love Lady Camden. Yeah. I just sort of, because I liked last week's, and frankly, last week's looked a little bit crafty. So to have like two in a row, I'm a little bit kind of like, eh.
Right now, for me, it's Lady Camden, Willow, and Daya are my favorites.
I don't know. I don't dislike it. I don't want her gone, nothing like that. But it was just kind of, there was something about it that I was like, oh my God, I love this so much. And I was like, do I though? Speaking of, I felt like I was meant to love this one, and I just really didn't.
Is this the one we were talking about, Angelica's?
Yeah. Rachel said she looked like Cynthia.
Cynthia, Angelica's doll from Rugrats.
Because I agree with, I think maybe Michelle, someone was like, or could have even been Carson, was like, I'm not quite getting shoulder pads from this. I mean,
that was about Georges, not about this.
Was it really?
Yeah, but Michelle said when Rue says shoulder pads, do more.
Okay.
Because it's very narrow. It's sort of like Cynthia meets like Beetlejuice.
The Matrix.
The Matrix, yeah. I don't know. It's fine. It's definitely not my favorite.
Rue's Willow Red Pill, I thought was really good. She did not embarrass herself by any stretch, but it just wasn't my favorite. I did love the stoned pinstripe. I think I would like the wig more if it didn't feel so much like a wig, or excuse me, I don't know. It's just
or
not
if
my
it didn't
favorite.
feel so much like Cynthia from Rugrats.
It's just not my favorite. Once again, I like Angeria a lot, but this just sort of, it's a fine look. It's
not my vibe, although I do love the like the sort of warring houndstooth patterns. They're all different. I kind of like that. But just like sort of the whole thing is not my vibe.
I just feel like, I'm like, have we not seen this a million times? I don't know. There was something about it.
She has worn these shoulders more than once, for sure.
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I was a little underwhelmed across the board. It just wasn't my favorite. I loved this.
This is great.
I loved it so much. I couldn't believe they had the audacity. I think it was just Michelle, but Michelle had the audacity to say it was too simple, to which I was like, just pretend Georges is wearing it and you'll think it's amazing.
Yeah. Also, the fact that she was like, Blade Runner, I was like, yeah, Blade Runner.
It's simple, but it's extremely well done simple.
It's effective. The glasses match the angle of the shoulder blade.
The color work.
That color, that wig, that bubblegum.
It's the bra for me.
And
it's the colored paneling on the bra with, you're right, the pink wig and everything she checked. Blade Runner, Dick Tracy. Like, I don't know. I was totally, this was my favorite. I was totally there for this one. Even the shoulder pads, I think, worked. Like, especially in the exaggerate, and look at her fucking waist.
Yeah.
I mean, I know she's a skinny bitch, but
this, I want to say, is like tied for my number one. I do love it though. And that's the like second or third time she's worn that color yellow, and it does, it works on her. This is the one that, they were like, it doesn't say shoulder pads, it says puffy shoulders, which I
mean, she was right when she said Selena meets Prince, but it's another one where I'm like, have you not already worn this on this?
Also, we know that you look like Selena. Do something new, please. What? It's true.
She looks good.
Yeah, she looks great.
It's just not my favorite. Yeah, now granted, this looks good.
Yeah.
This is one of the best looks I think I've seen from, because Jasmine is one of the ones that I think does too much.
Yeah.
And it's always like it gets to a point where it looks sloppy, and this does not look sloppy.
It does not look sloppy. It's very clean lines.
I'm just sort of like, no, I think this is fantastic. I just don't know that I think it fits in with what she's bringing, or I want it. I feel like I
want more of this sooner.
Yeah.
If that's what we're doing, I want more of this and less of that horrible pageant wig. Because the pageant wig, every time she's worn that pageant wig, it hasn't gone with the thing she's wearing.
It's a lot of times it's pieces, because like that's her hair just like sprayed black with like a bang piece and a ponytail, and the same with the pageant wig, that one, the Crystal Abasia wig. I don't know. Like, it's weird that I'm like, I think this look is great, and that's why I don't like it. You know what I mean?
It's not a cohesive drag style so far.
I just want to see whatever parts of Jasmine produce this look. I want those parts
lean into that
to produce more looks. Just like just even her face just looks good.
This is my other.
Is it?
I love it. It's so stupid. It's so like Mad Max, like
Tank
Girl, Road Warrior kind of bullshit. I don't know. I love it. I think it's super funny. I love that she goes a lot of the time for like a shaved head wig, like a partially shaved head wig. I don't know. I think Diabetti is interesting, and that's why I like her. Even when I don't like the look, I like the swing.
I like it a lot. Yeah. I don't think it's my favorite, but
it's
just an aesthetic.
Tied for me with Bosco. I think those two were the best for sure.
But Bosco was the winner. I was fine with that. I suppose Deja could have won as well, but at this point, Deja's just not my favorite. So, Untucked was good. I love the chemistry that Angeria and Lady Camden have.
Yeah.
Because it's absolutely not romantic, but there's a spark there. Like there's something with them that's like, because Nicole even made a comment about how like she was like, were you two just sitting back here the whole time?
Yeah.
And I feel like you could put them in a room and they could have fun.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
They could do anything. And I just think like to make the joke a 50th time, like the sisterhood, because when everybody came back, they were all very nurturing towards each other. Yeah. And Bosco was like, let's give Deja her like moment. And,
that was tonight.
Yeah. I don't know. I was really, I kind of like it. A lot of people like the drama. I mean, drama's fun to an extent.
Yeah, I like the drama when it feels like it's coming from someplace real. I don't like the drama when I liked the drama at the beginning. It was interesting, the drama with Candy Muse and the other queen.
Tamisha Iman.
Yeah, I like that was entertaining drama because it felt like it came from some kind of real place. The drama they feel like they're trying to manufacture this season doesn't feel like I prefer them to be friends opposed to like fake drama. I don't want fake drama.
I just like I don't need throwing wine glasses for my reality TV.
No.
I know that's what a lot of reality TV is, and that's what a lot of people want. But I also like people just going through a gauntlet together.
Yeah.
I guess maybe I need to be watching The Amazing Race. I don't know. There's not as much wigs.
It's true. There's not zero wigs, but there's not as much wigs.
I think at this point, Bosco is I started there, and I think I'm coming back there. I still like everybody. Like I still like Willow. I still like Angeria.
Also, two safes. I don't think we talked about who actually like won and lost last week, but both safe, Georges and Jasmine tonight, so no one went home again.
This one surprised me. I knew that we were going to have 2 weeks where no one went home because
But now we're going to have 3 weeks where no one went home.
Yeah, the times when
unless they're what if they're saving it for the finale so that they can do one more lip sync to the death?
People tend, especially online on Twitter and on the internet and stuff like that, people respond to the show as if it's happening now, as if like halfway through the competition Ru decided to extend it by a week, and that's not how production works. They are contracted into a certain amount of episodes. Do you know what I mean? So it's like when and that's one of the things, I think that's maybe why they don't release the episode orders, is because then people could guess.
Oh, just figure out.
Like we could be like, well, there's only 5 more weeks, so
sure, okay.
But it's like when production starts, it's like they are contracted for like 16 episodes.
Yeah.
And if something happens like it did with Cornbread, that means that we're adding a week.
Yeah.
That they are adding, or that there will be a week where someone doesn't go home. And so these plans were, this is written into the production order.
Yeah.
So I was very surprised to have the double Shantae. I think mostly because, again, while I don't like talking negatively or incendiarily, but while I like all these people, I'm like, is Jasmine really going to win?
Like, okay, at this point, if we hadn't had these 2 extra weeks, there's no reason why Jasmine and Deja are still here.
Like, if there was some fluke where somehow Willow or Angeria were in the bottom, then absolutely a
double save, yeah.
But I'm like, are either of these people really gonna win? Then why? Why are we doing this? Because it's like someone like a Diabetti or a Lady Camden. There's a reality where they could, even though they're not necessarily a front runner.
Right.
And so that's just that's my opinion on that.
I agree with that. I think it always baffles me when it's a double save for a lip sync. Although they both did kill the lip sync. They both did.
I mean,
good.
Jasmine did.
Georgia's whipped her little body all around.
Well, then we know she can do that. If one thing is true.
No, but I definitely agree with you where it's just sort of like, this is the week that you chose to do the double save. Not like, I mean, like, what if you're right next week? Like, what if Bosco is in the bottom next week?
Or one of the ones like, what was that one that brought the house down? Evie Oddly and Brooklyn Heights.
Oh, yeah. That's a double save.
Or even and granted, I know this was All Stars, so it was a winner already, but Mayhem versus Ginger Minge.
Yeah.
Like, those are double saves when both, which, I mean, the girls didn't not do this. I always love when they organically sync up
together, yeah.
And Georges and Jasmine did a little bit here. There was one point when Jasmine was doing the splits. I really wish Georges had done it too, as like a call and response or like So, okay, well, on that note, I assume we'll be back next week.
Yes, we will.
And because that's the other thing, is sometimes they throw like a random behind the scenes episode in. Oh. So, I mean, we could have.
I'm so tired.
We could do this until June.
We'll do it. We'll be here.
So, okay, bye.
Bye.
I think I would like the wig more if it didn't feel so much like a wig, or excuse me, I don't know. It's just
or
not
if
my
it didn't
favorite.
feel